I can guide you to 2 more endings that are my personal favourites. Yeah, okay. We're getting towards the end of the stream. I think that was a really good ending to potentially
no matter how hard Stanley looked,
end it on.
He couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, let's see some other stuff that I haven't seen. And those 2 endings that you're saying sound good. How do you get in there? Oh. Go to the mind control facility, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left, right? Right? See? Yeah, okay. Mind control facility is just following the narrator, isn't it? Reboot the game entirely.
Yet there was not a single person
Do not alter without
either.
consulting Wipeout Manager.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
It's back to normal. There. How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. There we go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad.
Oh.
Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Okay, that's new. Sounds like the narrator's getting awfully bored.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
When you get to the first button in the mind control facility, try to get on top of the table, then walk off the edge. Did I do it? I think I did it.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams.
This is so good.
Anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
This is so good,
Good job,
man.
you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job.
Ultra Deluxe is like It's ascended the original. It's even better. Wow. Alright, give me another one.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
What?
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
That's new. I've never heard him say that before. Same again, but after you get down the elevator, turn around and go back up the elevator. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Oh, that's good. Does it do something different every single time, or what?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Can you do this in the original game? And I just never did it. Or is this new for this one? You can't, okay. New content.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Go back to the elevator and repeat the process. Okay. Then you get the new ending. So back down and back up again.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me. Oh my God, it's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Oh my God, no way.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh, I haven't laughed at a game for like for so long. I haven't laughed like this at a game for a long time. This has been fantastic.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
It's the moments when the narrator gets so fed up with Stanley that completely breaks me. Yeah.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Do we do it again? He's not saying anything this time.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life.
Oh, no.
Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley.
It's going to be the boss's office again,
I
isn't
don't know
it?
if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
No. Okay.
Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley, live on stage. The guy who went to Mars. We did it. The pyramids, the world's healthiest human being, all tricks reviewed. Stage door to the left. World peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just
Stanley
through this
tonight,
door.
live on stage. I swear to God, if it's the boss's office. To stage,
Right,
welcome
are you
Stanley.
ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Oh my God, this is amazing. The dude who came up with pizza, an audience with. Oh man. Oh wow. Holy moly. Oh god. Stanley. Wow. Down then up then down then up then down then up. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. What an amazing ending. That's amazing. For going up and down and up and down and up and down, you get something so different as that. Yeah, there's so many more endings. I mean, we did this the last time.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting.
Yeah, there's so many more endings that the last time
no longer recall.
The last time I played this game,
no matter how hard Stanley looked,
I
he
did
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
what, 12 endings or something, and there was nearly 20 to do. But I think I'll leave that to all of you. This game deserves to be bought. It deserves to be supported. It deserves to be played. Bucket.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test
And I think
of time.
if you want to explore all of what this game has to offer, buy it yourself. Play it through. I'm going to do one
Stanley
thing
clutched the
that
bucket
someone
tightly
just
to his
suggested
chest
in the
and
chat now,
entered the door on
and
his
then we'll be
left.
done. But yeah, buy it, play it through, explore all the different endings.
Still no one was here.
There's what, like
Stanley
40
needed the
over
bucket's
40 of
warmth
them?
and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's
You can check out
office
my
was where, coming to
original
a staircase,
playthrough.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
I'll put this
office.
up on random bits, and I'll put it in the same playlist as the original playthrough, so this will come after the original
Stepping
playthrough.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh,
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew
what a
all along?
brilliant game.
Was the bucket
This is
guiding
like,
him?
I think that the Ultra
Yes,
Deluxe
this
version is even
certainly the
better.
most logical
If someone-
explanation.
If you answer the question at the start saying, have you played Stanley Parable before, and you say no, how does the game change? Does it like sort of force you into doing more of the regular game first before opening that more content door?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
Yeah, okay.
Mind
So do that.
Control
If you've never bought,
Facility.
if you've never played it, buy Ultra Deluxe, and then answer no, you've never played, and then there you go, and play through the
Just as
original
Stanley was about to
for
proceed
endings a
further
few
into
times
the
first.
mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps.
Me and Bucky.
After some time
Oh.
had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps
Oh,
came
it's
in
getting
that it
nice
really
in
started
here.
to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket
Oh
deeply.
no.
Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about,
This
was
game is the
going back,
impossible sequel.
doing
Yeah.
it over again,
It's
staying on
so
the path.
good.
It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
And there it is. Brilliant. Okay, fine. We're gonna do it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Since we've done one ending
Still no one was here.
with and without bucket,
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
let's
Perhaps
do another
his
one.
boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
There are a number of endings that I've done on the original playthrough as well that I haven't done in this playthrough. The broom closet and whatnot. And there's plenty. I'm sure there's quite a few that I haven't done at all now.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
The number 3? Do I press the number 3 on the keypad, or do I just keep going up and down? Oh, now I've got to... That's thrown me for a loop. Oh, I can't go back down. This is different. I was expecting... Okay.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and... Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay. This is the kind of unpredictable and refreshing storytelling that we
Perhaps
could
the
expect from
bucket had
Stanley.
missed
I know, right?
Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Can't go back down again.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection,
Aw.
Stanley returned to the elevator.
What about if I go down and back
Stanley
up
and the
3
bucket
times?
were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
What about Stanley Parable 3? Then I can show you the importance.
"Ah," said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and
Oh
over.
my god.
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been
3.
for anything in his life.
3 on everything.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
And this is how all of these endings end up being different with the bucket and without. Let's do it.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved,
Oh.
uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There
3.
would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years,
Oh
the
no.
two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since
Oh
that
my
day at
God.
the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed
You
the
should have
space
never done
between
this ending.
friends. And
Bucky,
Stanley,
no.
having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
No. Oh my god. That was the worst to possibly end it on. Can we do like a quick one with the bucket that's like,
All of his co-workers were gone.
have you got a
What could it mean?
quick one up your
Stanley
sleeve
decided
didn't
to go
mind
to the
that
meeting
might
room.
involve the
Perhaps he had
bucket
simply missed
that we
a
can
memo.
do
Not everyone is so
and be a
lucky to
bit of a
have
nicer
that.
way to
But
end
Stanley
it.
is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
A happy one, yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Follow the narrator all the way to the end. Okay. But then turn on the machine. Oh yeah. I assume I've turned on the machine previously.
Still no one was here.
In the first
Stanley needed the
installment.
bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his
Did I ever
boss's
do that? I
office
don't know.
was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay, Bucky's
Stepping
back though.
into
That
his
was a
manager's
sad
office,
ending, but
Stanley
you
was
know,
once again
everything
stunned
restarts
to
again,
discover
so
not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the
Your
correct code
playthrough
by
85
sheer
years
luck.
ago, yeah.
Was it
So
the
I've done it once
Was
in the
bucket
first
guiding
playthrough.
him? Yes.
But I
This
can't
is
remember what
certainly the
happens.
most logical explanation.
You did, since you remembered that ending earlier. I did? I did? I can't remember what I did an hour ago, let alone 6 years ago.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead.
It's
through
crazy
the
that it's
door
been 6
read,
years.
Mind control facility.
Now I remember what I
The
remembered.
lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office
This
was
is the
being
last one we'll do.
videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
I obviously haven't been keeping
had never
count,
seen
but of the like
anything like
40
this,
or
and
so,
it
I
very
feel like
nearly
I've done
burst
more
into
than
tears
half of the
as
endings
Stanley
in
cradled it
total across the
gently,
two
reassuring
playthroughs.
it that everything would be fine.
I feel like it's less than 30, but maybe between 20 and 30 in some way.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been
Highly
told to do
recommend.
things
Buy the
it
game,
didn't wish to
play
do?
through,
What kinds
have your
of
own
things
little
does a bucket want to
story
do
with it,
or not want to do in
an
the
experience
first
with
place?
it.
These questions raced furiously in
I'm
Stanley's
not going to go
vivid
through all of
mind.
them.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working,
Alright,
all
turn
of
it
it
up.
monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was
Bucky.
prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
This is not what it was last time. Bucky was
Stanley
the good guy
flipped
all
through
along.
one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility
Oh, I like
for
that one.
monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hand.
Genius,
the one who
Bucky.
had pointed him towards this incredible
Penguins are
discovery.
great.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Aww.
And Stanley was happy.
Yeah. An excellent ending to finish on. Beautiful.